What's poppin', y'all? It's looking like it's gonna be a paperwork party all spring and summer, anywhere from rappers to even influencers, because Clavicular just got sued by one of his previous chicks. One of his own homegirls did it to him. So we're going to look through the paperwork, and he just might be screwed. So first off, it starts out, the girl that's suing him is Alexandra Vasilyevna Mendoza, who also went by the name of Alora Ziva or Zaloria on TikTok. And the plaintiff here, or the defendant, is Braden Peters, which is Clavicular. So they're setting the stage and explaining how they even know each other. They're saying that, and keep in mind, they're suing for $50,000 and attorney fees and all that, which I don't know if he had the opportunity to just pay her $50,000 if she came to him and said, hey, look, I'm going to sue. Can you just give me $50K and be done with it? I would have told him to give her $50K and have her sign an NDA to not speak about him ever again, or some sort of confidentiality agreement, because this girl knows a lot about him, just as we're going to see throughout the rest of this. So this girl is currently 18 years old, as I said in number 2. And in number 3, it says Braden Peters is an individual who's conducted business in Florida, monetization, live streaming, paid sponsorships, and commercial content creation. So they're just establishing where he's at, because the law firm is based in Southern Florida as well. And they just explain who he is. We don't need to know that. Now, the important part is how they came to know each other. And they came to know each other when she was under 18 years old and was a minor under Florida law. Now, Florida law is important because when they met, they didn't initially meet in Florida, but the incident that they're trying to talk about is in Florida. And I think that's partially why they don't want to chase any civil charges. This is a civil lawsuit based on some other accusations that are quite dark that they make. So it says, the plaintiff, she comes from a troubled background. Beginning at age 16, she attempted to gain a social media presence in order to obtain sponsorships to financially support herself. As part of her plan, she became known online as Alora or Alora Ziva. On or about May 2025, when she was 16, she was paid $1,000 by Peters to film videos. So he was presumably 18 at this time, or 19 at best. Actually not, he turned 20. So he was 19 and she was 16. She was paid $1,000 to film videos. He told her that he wanted her to be the female face for looks maxing. Peters assisted her with creating videos and wrote the scripts for her. This is a very important piece of information, because at this point in time, Clavicular's brand, as we know him currently, it's entertainment for the most part. But before, he used to have an informative, education-based approach. He was entertaining still, and he was using content, but his business at the time was teaching people like, hey, this is how you can look better. I'm testing all of this stuff on myself, and I'm showing you how to do it. And people would pay a monthly fee. Now he's promoting it again. He had this like kind of like a community that costed a certain amount. There were 1,000+ people in there. So before he ever blew up on streaming in October, November, he was already making $50,000 to $60,000 a month via that community education. And this is not even including any affiliates, sponsorships that he had with the peptides that he was most likely recommending once people got in there and were asking questions. So in his mind, he's thinking like, okay, I'm the guy version of this. If I get a girl to do this, we can make a ton of money together. So just goes to show this guy's head was in the right place before the whole it wasn't all the way in the right place, because he decided to mix business with pleasure, it seems to be, with this girl. So after posting approximately 4 looks maxing videos for Peters, and this is all happening on TikTok for the most part, Mendoza and Peters were texting while Peters was in Cape Cod and she was in Massachusetts. Peters offered to pay for an Uber to bring her to Cape Cod. Mendoza accepted the offer since she had never met Peters and thought meeting him would help her online presence, as Peters had promised. It definitely would help her online presence, because he would collaborate with a ton of people in the TikTok sphere. Like, for example, he had also reached out to Nick Fuentes, who isn't even in his sphere whatsoever, and they did an interview about a year ago, or even earlier than a year ago. So I think he saw how much it would benefit him to collaborate with other people, and it helped the both of them. So the Uber took her to his parents' home. So Peter's mother and grandmother were at the house. And this is presumably before he got kicked out, because when he got kicked out of school or expelled from school, I don't think his parents allowed him to stay with him. And this is where it gets bad. With his mother's full knowledge, excessive amounts of alcohol were being served. At this time, Peters was under the age of 21. He's still under the age of 21. Peters then escorted her to his bedroom where a computer was set up for live streaming. Inside the bedroom, Peters served Mendoza multiple servings of vodka. She became inebriated and visibly intoxicated. Now, there is a clip of them hanging out and suggesting that they may have been drunk.
You get red too when you drink or no?
Me?
Do you? I don't know.
Am I red?
A little bit.
Well, maybe because I'm with you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could be. Could be.
Are you red?
I was.
Yeah, you're red. You're so red.
I always am. I'm not nervous. I just get red. It's okay.
Okay, let's continue.
Let's continue the mog battle. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
So this was them. Yeah, she looked completely different. Peters then had sex with Mendoza while she was knowingly intoxicated, to the point where she was unable to give consent. That morning, while she was asleep, she woke up with Peters penetrating her and having sex with her again without her consent. So they are alleging here, and they're trying to paint the picture that this guy was in the chick. Now, they don't really talk about age too much, because I think there is, especially in Massachusetts, there's like a 2-year age gap rule, because she was 17 and he was 19, or towards the end of last year before he turned 20. And I'm guessing here she was 16, he was 18. So that 2-year gap isn't that big of a deal, or I think it's not illegal. And then it says, at this point, Mendoza did not know about Peters bragging about slaying girls and having one-night stands. And he frequently refers to this as a pump and dump. So this is just quite ridiculous here. After having quite ridiculous in that she didn't know this. She definitely knew this, and she knew his reputation. She probably just thought it was going to be something different. After engaging with him, he sent her off in an Uber, and she did not see him again for another 6 months. Now, keep in mind, very important details. They're saying that she could not consent and the whole sexual act. None of that is in any of the counts. There's no SA. None of the counts that they're bringing forward, civil, involve that. But they put that in there specifically because they knew that it would harm this guy's reputation. Because why wouldn't they pursue it? For example, Conor McGregor, the girl against him, she pursued a civil case for being raped, and she won. But they didn't do that here, which I think is very interesting. He did catch a battery charge for something else, though. So the live streamed crime that they're talking about is in November of 2025. So when he moves to Miami, she ends up in Miami again. She lost a ton of weight, and she put on these contacts, and she looks completely different now. He says she went out with a group of friends in Miami for a networking event. She and her friends ran into Peters in the Brickell Avenue area. Clavicular commented how her physical appearance had improved through looks maxing. He then invited her and his friends back to his place for a streaming session, telling Mendoza that she was ascending, which is looking better, and he could continue to increase her online presence. She agreed since she was with her friends and believed that they were going somewhere nearby. Once in his car, a Tesla Cybertruck, that same Cybertruck that ran over that dude, she was shocked to find out they were driving to Delray Beach over an hour away. Yeah, this was before he was living in Miami. They then stopped at a charging station where Peters and his friends snorted a white powdery substance which they offered to Mendoza, who refused. How polite of them, right? I mean, we've seen this guy talk about doing this stuff before too. Upon arriving at their destination, Peters attempted to kiss and seduce Mendoza. She rejected those overtures. He continued to tell her that he could help her with his online presence and took her into a bedroom where he began live streaming on Kick. Sitting on the desk was a vial of medication called Aqualix, along with syringes. Peters told her that he wanted to inject her with this product to melt fat on her cheeks as part of his promise to help her with her online presence. And this is, you can even see this, the videos everywhere. It went viral.
Needles off.
Jeff Epstein just tipped $4. Yo, I hear you got the plug for those fresh Stacy's.
Dude, I can already see the clips. Clap and Jack. Think that I'm crazy.
Chat, we're looks maxing her. It's all good. Dr. Clav, Yeah.
So Aqualix is the substance that you can inject, and it's a fat dissolver. So if someone's got extra fat around their cheeks, maybe underneath their chin, things like that, they can inject it and it'll cause them to lose the fat there over time. During this session, Peters stated or implied that he was acting with medical authority, including by referencing himself as a doctor or otherwise holding himself out as qualified to perform the injection. This is jokes and kind of like this is like streamer jokes. And they're trying to say like there is no point where he was saying, oh, by the way, I'm a doctor and I have a license, and she believes it, especially when she knows his age. But legally, what do we have here? It is, you are conducting something that is not supposed to be happening, definitely not on stream. And it says the FDA is warned that fat dissolving injections are not FDA approved and can be harmful. Peters was not a physician. He was not licensed to practice medicine in Florida, and he was not authorized to inject her with any drug, medication, or fat dissolving substance. And he never told her that he wasn't authorized, and she did not provide legally valid consent. Keep in mind, legally valid consent for him to inject her, because at this point, she's still under 18. So there's, I guess you could call it a loophole that they're trying to come after him with, which she's under 18. This is a medical thing that you're doing here. And for her to even consent to a doctor, she would have to have like a parent present or somebody that signs off on it because of her age. And he's not a doctor. And it even says here, parent or legal guardian didn't consent. And then he injected her multiple times, and he did not explain that Aqualix was not approved by the FDA. And it even says she's still a minor, where people were talking about that. He says, I'm 19. And yeah, it's live streamed. They're trying to kind of throw a kick in there too. It also says during the video, he suggested that methamphetamine had been added to the injection mixture. He was trolling her. After the first injection, a plaintiff appeared drugged on camera and believed that she may have been injected with methamphetamine or another undisclosed substance. I think this is true. Not that he injected her with methamphetamine, but she believed, like, I don't have no idea what's even on here. Like, clearly this girl was trying to get famous, get more lit, get more popping, and she was like, okay, yeah, I trust this guy. And then when he told her that, she was like, wait, what? Did you actually put that in there? She had no idea what she was being injected with. And then it says, Peters and Mendoza saw each other a handful of other times, including when he paid bouncers to let the underage Mendoza into bars and purchased alcoholic drinks for that. That's all on stream. And she was on a boat with him. This is all on stream. Throughout these encounters, she continued to believe that Peters was assisting her with her online presence. Some of these encounters were on Kick. And then in early 2026, she signed a contract paying her $15,000 a month as a social media promoter for an online trading platform. She continued to be under the incorrect assumption that Peters was helping her career. However, around this time, he began a campaign to discredit her, and she says she lost her sponsorships because of him. So this is the thing. She starts dating some dude, and this dude is involved in like selling, trading or whatever, like trading groups, trading signals, whatever, and they'll push the individuals that come in to go to a platform, and when they go on that platform, they get a kickback from it. And her boyfriend, I'm guessing he got her into this, and Clavicular was like, yo, don't do none of this BS. So that's what she's saying, is him discrediting her. So the count here is battery, and it's not battery. The battery is the injection, and it says under Florida law, these constitute battery. The other count is emotional distress, which is like quite a nothing burger, fraud, and that's the FDA, non-FDA approved drug. And that's it. Unauthorized publication of name and likeness, which is a loser count. This is somebody that's really just trying to do a shakedown. So they're saying that he used her name, portrait, photograph, and all of this without her signed consent. And they're saying that she couldn't consent because she was under 18. And that's another aspect of it. But like I said, you don't see battery here as one of the counts. They're not pursuing that, but they put that on there for some reason. So Clavicular would respond to this and say, when I was in the hospital on life support, a girl was begging Mitchell for my Amex credit card. He said no. The consistent theme of girls trying to use me for money is brutal for a young guy trying to navigate a complex society. Hopefully I can find a good girl whose intent is not to screw me over and take my money. And the boyfriend of this girl would respond to that. The girl, he's not talking about this girl in particular, but this is after the lawsuit comes out. So the current boyfriend of the Alora girl says his lawyers told him to post this, trying to switch the narrative, making it look like girls are using you for money. Have fun in court. And then people start posting this and saying like, yo, wasn't she trying to come kick it with Clavicular again?
Literally.
Oh, it's Alara? Oh,
Yes.
I'll fair
I've been bawling my eyes out. Like, it was bad, guys.
Chad luck.
I don't know if they told you what's going on.
So you broke up with your boyfriend? You want to come on a collab stream?
Yeah, because I want him to be, like, pissed, and also I'm just, like, sad right now.
So, you realize, like, if you do this, like,
Joe just
up forever.
And the boyfriend, the current boyfriend, makes it clear and says this is a different girl on the phone call. Clip is being used to make her look bad out of context. So I thought that this might have been her because this was when he was in Arizona. So I don't know if it was actually her. And she did consistently say, because his audience actually liked her, but when she was on this boat stream with them, and she was saying that her and Clavicular are just friends now. And I'm guessing that he just got rid of her after that point and didn't want to hang out with her anymore. Now, Aiden Ross would react to this.
So let me just say a couple things. Shame on you. Absolute shame on you. I've seen you around Clav numerous times. Like, if he's such a weirdo, why are you consensually hanging out with him on the regular? For money? Like, just because you didn't get that money. Dude, dude, like, I'm not even joking, bro. It's sad. You know, and this is alleged, assuming that this is what I think it is to be a fake hit piece for some money, which it probably is, because at the end of the day, she obviously is jealous by how crazy his career is taken off. It's just sad, bro. It really is sad that, like, Clad needs to just check who he's around, right? Obviously, there's people around him when he was going through his seizure, and then when he's going through his overdose, and when he's being choked out, and now this with girls. He needs to be very careful and find a legitimate team that will protect him from shit like this. I think this is genuinely stupid, and shame on her. And I hope you lose. And Clav, you know to call me if you need help. Like, it's sad, dude. It really is. And this is all allegedly, right? We're speaking out of alleged. So I'm allegedly speaking as well, my opinion. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's sad. And listen, and again, I'll say this, bro. If this was 100% real and stuff like that, why not say anything until now when he has a lot of money, when he has his own club, when he's making a success, when he's about to buy a house? Why say this now? Why not say it before? Why not? We all know why. So that's the point. She wanted to sit and wait for him to get to a certain level to then go for it. Wait, her family's a Jewish Israeli family?
So what Aiden's talking about here is it doesn't matter. Like one thing is, yeah, do I think it's kind of grimy that this chick's trying to do a shakedown on this guy? Yeah, but the shakedown is only 50 G's. That's the thing. It's like, yo, did you benefit more than 50 G's off of what this chick did with and for you? Which is the first stream that you guys did together, her coming back, her entertaining your kick stream. I would say, yeah. So that's why I'm like, yo, why don't you just cut her the bread? Like, yeah, you don't want to hang out with her anymore because she's got a boyfriend, and that makes sense. That's all well and good. But I think her coming back around, it is kind of grimy. And I do think the boyfriend was behind it and encouraging it because he's the one replying to all of this stuff. But one thing that I gotta disagree with Aiden on is, yo, Clavicular needs better people around. No, he doesn't. Like, when are we gonna hold the guy accountable? The guy is 19 years old. We've seen him drinking, or he's 20 years old. We've seen him drinking nonstop. We've seen him do so many different drugs. He is trying to get other people to do drugs. He's encouraging, he's given, and this is the thing, how many other chicks have been on his stream that are under 21 that he's given drinks to? A lot. Very many. So he's constantly doing, and this is illegal. Like everyone, everyone's like, yeah, man, who cares? No, this is illegal. So he should care. When you're this lit, when you're this popping, yeah, you're in big trouble because now you're a target. And all of this is being done on stream. Like, she's not the only girl that he allegedly gave drinks to. Like, you could just see it. And if there's anyone around him that's telling him not to do drugs, not to drink, he's going to get rid of them. So this guy is the problem, and he needs to take accountability. Like, yeah, he's the guy that bought Aqualix. Nobody bought Aqualix for him. And it's not like an FDA-approved drug. He's the one that's running these experiments. First on himself, yeah, sure, we can say that he did everything first on himself before trying it on other people. But for Aiden Ross to just try to portray him as this poor victim that's just being taken advantage of by everyone around him, no, he facilitates and creates that environment. So I think that he might just settle on this one. And he should just settle. I do think that it is grimy, though, that she allowed them to put the, like, essay thing on there of him, like, graping her. Because she did say that she regretted, like, getting smashed by him. And she said, oh, it was, like, a moment of weakness. Or it was, like, a moment of indecision. Because now she's doing the whole, like, good Christian girl thing. And at that, I would say, like, is really grimy behavior by her. For sure, especially since it's not one of the counts. But other than that, I think it's grimy regardless. Like someone that you used to be cool with and now they're just trying to shake you down for bread and ruin your reputation. But everything else is on Clavicular. We saw it on stream. Like, how can you defend it? It is objectively illegal. Are we saying that the guy's like a terrible person for what happened on that stream? I don't know. But him injecting her, we saw that. Him saying it was Aqualix, we saw that. The drinks, I think we saw her in venues that were under 21. So we saw all of this. And she was under 18 when this was all happening too. From her end, I do think it's just desperation. Like, she's just trying to get, like, at least try to get a bigger bag. That's the thing that disgusts me. It's like, yo, you're going to betray somebody for a little 50 G's? Like, what? Come on, at least 10x that. Because that's the funny part. They're asking for 50 G's. So if he's willing to settle with them, are they willing to take less? Because that's usually how it works. But yeah, I think Clavicular should just settle because this chick could really continue to expose a bunch of stuff. Just get her to shut up about everything and pay her off and chalk it up to the game. Because you cannot be having these PR issues when you're co-owner of a club now, because now your business contacts are looking at you like, well, they've got their own history, but they're looking at you like, yo, man, this is not good for business. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.